Hi, it's Carrie. In today's 5 Minute Friday, I wanted to discuss a common misunderstanding in searching when you are searching for literature, and it actually appears here in this systematic review. And I'm not going to comment on the rest of this review, really just the search. So I pulled it up in another tab and I downloaded the search strategy from a supplemental file, which is great because not everybody submits a supplemental file, and it's really the only way that we know how your search was done, and the only way that it's reproducible is if you submit a search to go along with your manuscript. And it's a best practice to submit now a search for every database you searched and not just one. And this is according to the Prisma 2020 update. And I'm not going to comment on the search per se, just the one part of the search that I want to discuss. But let's just look at it here. So they've given us PubMed, Concept 1. I can't make sense of this. It would take me a long time to make sense of this, but I can't say it doesn't make sense. I'm just not seeing it right away. And then Concept 2. A lot of mesh terms here. And then Concept 3 and Concept 4 pairs them all together. Concept 5, they've made some filters. And line number 6, they've given us the number of results. And then here we see the Cochrane library. And then BVS. I think that was it. Yeah. So that's the search strategy, and I'm not going to pretend to tell you how it breaks down, but what I wanted to address was that a lot of times when people are searching, they'll build their phrases like this. So they'll take a phrase, they'll put it in open and close parentheses, and you see it here with CNS neoplasm or CNS neoplasms, and then we see it again throughout the search where there aren't field tags for mesh terms. So let's find another one. Primary central nervous system neoplasm. I saw it down here in Concept 2. Intracranial sinus thrombosis, deep vein thrombosis. So see all these, what I'm assuming were intended to be phrases are in parentheses. And I can tell you that PubMed doesn't do what you think it's doing. Kind of like that meme. I don't think this means what you think it means. So let's just take one. And because there's so many parentheses, I'm really just going to take one because I don't want to copy the whole thing. All right, so there is cranial venous sinus thrombosis. Now let's go to the internet. Here we are in PubMed. Now here is what I'm assuming was intended to be a phrase, cranial venous sinus thrombosis. And I'll click search. And we get 309 results. Now we can see it's kind of doing what we expected, venous sinus thrombosis. Here's intracranial venous sinus thrombosis. None of these are the exact phrase, right? The way that you would get the exact phrase is not this. Let's look in advanced. And let's go into the search details for cranial venous sinus thrombosis by clicking on the chevron. And what it did was map our terms and break them up. So we're essentially getting cranial and venous and sinus and thrombosis. I do have a filter on for free full text. That doesn't matter here. So it broke everything up. It applied mesh terms where it mapped. So we do have intracranial sinus thrombosis. Let's go back to the main search. And instead of parentheses, open and close parentheses, we want quotes. Remember, we got 309 results with this assumed phrase in parentheses. Let's see what we get with this phrase in quotes. 7. And the reason is because it is looking for that exact phrase, cranial venous sinus thrombosis. Now, there's not necessarily something wrong with the way that they searched. It's just that I'm looking at this search and thinking, well, they really expected to see these terms as phrases, But they didn't get these terms as phrases, they got them as broken up mapping terms. So it's a very sensitive way to search, but it's not what I would recommend because in systematic review searching, especially, we typically don't allow things to automatically term map. We apply field tags for title and abstract because things may change over time. The way that terms map may change over time. So if I were to rewrite this search, instead of parentheses, everything would get quotes right here and right here. And I'd probably apply field tags too for TIAB, which is title and abstract, or TW. If you want to search a phrase as a phrase in most every database, make sure you use quotes. Ask a librarian. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.